Welcome to SveNFL.
What is up, y'all?
It's John the Rollins.
And Schif Musara.
Two Americans living in Sweden, talking about football.
Yeah, football. Let's go, baby.
Okay, for everybody's information, I was up late. Okay?
You sound rough, bro.
I haven't spoken. I got up early. I haven't really talked. So now it'll come back. Mm-hmm. You wanted to get up early.
I'm not up early. It's 2:39 in the afternoon where I'm at.
Jeez.
We're coming to you with an international edition of SveNFL. Yeah. I am in Sweden. My boy Jonathan is in America. All the way over in
Austin,
Texas. Yeah. Austin, Texas. First thing he said to me when we turned on the mics was like, "Did you see that a baseball team went to the World Series?" And I was like, "What?" Yeah, I saw it, but
we do not care.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah. That's just chit chat. Little chit chat.
Just trying to break the ice.
Just break the ice. Little baseball chit chat as you do. Yo, this is my worst ever. I lost the Eliminator. Our Eliminator winner was announced this weekend. It was.
Oh no! Really?
It's over now. After all those upsets, there were 4 people left, and now the winner.
You can call me Champ.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, he wrote me.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
He called.
Who'd you pick? Who let you down?
Buffalo.
Oh my God.
I was like, is this too early to use them? They're kind of a ringer to get later. And then they lose to the fucking Pats.
Who did he pick?
I don't know. Just mad. It's annoying.
Wow.
I'm going to see him tomorrow.
Oh, dope.
He's going to come through.
Yeah, man. A lot of upsets. It was like the revenge of the 1-5 teams this week.
I had 6 and 7 on my picks all week. Ugh. 6 wins, 7 losses. You killed me in Flip and Pick'em.
I whooped your ass in Flip and Pick'em. And thanks to the Viking, I got a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
From the logo, deep 3-pointer.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah. It was crazy. We could dive right in. We could start with Jags versus Saints. Thursday Night Football. This one got weird.
Yeah, it did.
Jags kind of dominated in the first half. Nearly let this one slip away. They were up 17-6 at the half, I think. Carr threw a pick 6 in the third quarter to make the comeback even more difficult, but they did it. Saints tied it up after a couple of touchdown drives and a 2-point conversion. And then the Saints decided to lose this game in the most Falcons way possible. And by that, I mean false hope, right?
Yeah.
So after tying the game, they forced the Jags to a 3-and-out, only to get the ball back and go 3-and-out themselves. 2 plays later, on a short slant route, T-Law finds his ascending associate, Christian Kirk, who does the rest of the carving through the Saints defense like it was warm butter for a 44-yard touchdown. But the Saints were not done twisting the knife in the hearts of their fans. Carr led a 12-play, 69-yard drive in the final 3 minutes of the game, only to watch the pass get dropped by a wide-open Foster Moreau in the end zone.
Crazy.
They say mockery is the sincerest form of flattery. And, I see you, New Orleans Saints, out here trying to put on your Atlanta Falcons impression. I see you. And, color me flattered. It's cute. I love it. Keep doing it.
Wow. They're still in the hunt, too, man. They're 3-4. That division is crazy.
Yeah. I would say if I were a Saints fan, which I'm not, thank God, I would be a little concerned about how my offense is so Alvin Kamara oriented.
Yeah.
I mean, it just felt like every. I mean, what I don't even know the answer to this, but what could Derek Carr's possible air yards per pass be? What, like 2.5? Like everything was just a check down to Kamara, who had a great game himself, but this offense is dysfunctional, I think. And then the defense, which is supposed to help them win games, did not do that against Jaguars. So that's what, four in a row for T-Law?
Yeah. The Saints, Kamara had 17 rushes and then 12 receptions.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy usage.
Yeah. Yeah, and Olave had 15 targets, but he only had 7 catches. That's kind of interesting.
Oh, wow. But Derek Carr throwing the ball 55 times means you're probably not doing the right thing.
That is not a recipe for success. No. You do not want this man throwing the ball 55 times. Speaking of success, how about Chicago Bears? Am I right?
Oh, man.
What the hell happened here? First of all, I remember sitting down in the morning on Sunday. Tyson Bagent versus Brian Hoyer.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? Like,
a shit bowl brought to you by Xlex.
Yeah, and Bagent did not blow anybody away, but he did look pretty good. He was 21 for 29, 162 yards, a touchdown, and no picks. So not bad, not great. Hoyer, not so much. Hoyer was 17 for 32, 129 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks, one of which was a pick six. I mean, Josh Jacobs, again, does absolutely nothing. So the big difference was always going to be the Bears' third string running back, Deontay Foreman. Everybody knew it. Everybody saw it coming. 16 carries for 89 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, plus 31 yards receiving and a receiving touchdown. This dude, every time they cut to him on red zone, it was like another Deontay Foreman touchdown. It was crazy. I mean, the Raiders were terrible, and I can only assume McDaniels probably got called to the principal's office again. What do you think?
Definitely. And he deserved it, though. You're putting up 12 points against the Bears. How long before he's gone?
I kept thinking this was a bad week for Devonta Adams to complain about his lack of targets, which is all he was complaining about the week, in the days leading up to this game. And it's like, don't complain about that when you know that Hoyer is going to be your quarterback, dude. Like, it's not gonna get better. It's gonna get worse.
Pressure. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he got plenty of targets. What did he get? 12 targets, but he only had 7 catches for 57 yards. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Raiders. I mean, they are 3-4, but would I be surprised if they don't win another game? I don't know. Probably not. I don't understand what's going on with the Josh Jacobs situation. I don't know if it's the offensive line or if it's that he never should have changed his number.
I didn't think about that part.
I don't know. It just seems kind of weird.
That's odd.
It's very strange. But, I mean, shout out to the Chicago Bears for, I don't know, not losing.
I don't know if their fans like that. They were part of that draft pick sweepstakes.
Well, the part that I think where they probably don't care is that, they own their own first round pick, but they also own Carolina's first round pick, who are currently winless.
Oh, so, yeah. Okay.
So they, if the season ended today, I think they would have the first pick in the draft, and I think they would have the 3rd or 4th pick in the draft as well. which I presume they will use to make a trade so somebody can move up. You know what I mean? If you got 2 picks that high, you can afford to let one go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. These are 2 teams that are just like not relevant at all. Not for this season. So I don't really know. I don't know what else to say about them.
What do you have to say about the Cleveland Browns?
I have some very specific things to say about this. My first thought was, man, the football gods or the seasoned script writers,
Man,
were really on one in this game. Like, they were high, they were drunk, I don't know what the fuck they were. This game was absolutely insane. There were 4 lead changes in the fourth quarter alone.
yeah.
I mean, there were turnovers. There was amazing defense followed by terrible defense. You had Gardner Minshew, the mustache marauder, scoring rushing touchdowns. You had blocked field goals. You had a fumble, scoop, and score. This game had a little bit of everything. It was absolutely absurd. I would say that if you have not seen this game,
Yeah.
and you have Red Zone, I would recommend you go back and watch the whole thing, because this thing was fucking. I don't even care who you root for. Like, it was just nuts.
It was a game. Yeah. Game of the week, easily.
Myles Garrett in the first half was not of this earth. He was some kind of a like super post-human future, highly evolved version of what humanity will be like at some point down the road. 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, that blocked field goal where he leapfrogs the entire offensive line.
Man, did this dude just did this?
Exactly. Mind you, when a player tries something like this to jump over the offensive line, you're allowed to do that. But if you touch anyone in the process, it's like
you got to clear them.
It's an immediate penalty. But Garrett clears the line, doesn't even need to dive in order to block the kick. He's just standing there waiting for the guy to finally kick it. He's just like this. He's like, "Yeah, go ahead. I'm here." What the fuck is happening? Yeah. It was crazy.
Insane.
But the Colts would not go away. Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss continued to split carries, but Taylor had the better day this time. He seems to be heating up. I anticipate he'll start to take over this backfield. I think he had 18 carries for 75 yards and a touchdown. Mm-hmm. The rookie Josh Downs for the Colts had a hell of a day, 125 yards and a touchdown.
Man,
Michael Pittman balled out. The Josh Downs, he's I don't even know where he went to school, but I just know he's not a Bulldog. That's all. Because if he was, I would have said it. But yeah, I'm not really sure what I learned about either one of these teams, big picture.
Well, we learned that that vaunted Browns defense maybe isn't so vaunted. Because they gave up 38 points to the Colts. Like, nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, they did.
We learned about Deshaun Watson. He really doesn't want to play.
I'm sort of saving my take for him later. He's
okay.
Yeah, spoiler alert. He's in my shit got learned. But yeah, weird, super weird that he. Just for context, for those of you who didn't see it, he threw 5 passes. Mm-hmm. Only 1 interception. It could have been 2. I mean, he threw another interception right into the guy's hands, but it was called an incomplete pass because he sort of had to use the ground to bring it in. He goes out for, concussion protocol, and then for whatever reason he clears concussion protocol and is kept out of the game because of his shoulder. It was very confusing. It kind of seemed like Stefanski just said, "Nah, you don't have it today," which is a little weird considering how much money they're paying this guy. But yeah, like I said, we can say. And then,
but Stefanski said that he was going to be their quarterback. He's their number 1 quarterback next week. But Deshaun Watson was like, "I don't know. We got to see." I don't know if this dude wants to play, man.
I mean, considering how much money they're paying this guy, it's a little weird that they decided to finish this game out with PJ Walker. It's not a good look. Things are shaky down there. I mean, that being said, I don't even think we said this, but yeah, the Browns actually won this game 39-38, which is also weird. I'm telling you, go back and watch this, y'all.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It's nuts.
Another game that made no sense.
Exactly. You were reading my mind. Sergeant Way stepped in and took the words out of my mouth. 29-25, the Patriots beat the Bills. What are we doing here, Bills?
Great question. Great question. This game kicked me. What are we doing here, Bills? This one is for the Buffalo Bills. What are we doing? You lost to the Jets and the Patriots. How?
Yeah. Down and out.
Crazy.
Everybody's punching back. Bill Belichick snatches his 300th win as a head coach in what can only be described as a crushing loss to the Bills. Mac Jones come back, less than 2 minutes on the clock. He put an 8-play, 75-yard drive together to find your guy, former Dolphin, Mike Gesicki,
With a gritty.
for the win. And then he did his really bad gritty, which was funny. This was funny because you were en route to Texas at this moment in the game, and we were texting. I believe you were in the New York airport.
Yes.
And I was kind of, I think you had texted me. You were like, "Ooh, Mac Jones comeback," and I texted, "No, just, no, that's not going to happen." And then,
he's never had one.
And then you said, "I'm getting ready to board the plane," and then like less than a minute later, Mac Jones gets the comeback score, and I texted you. I was like, "He did it. I stand corrected."
Yeah. We counted him out, man. We counted him out.
Well, we this is one of those things. I don't know what to make of the Bills. Josh Allen had both a pick and a fumble. Captain Tryhard was out here throwing the ball 41 times, only 27 receptions. He had trouble getting the ball to Diggs for most of the game. Diggs had a touchdown later. It was a very slow start for the Bills, which is turning out to be how you would define their season. That they start really, really slow for some reason. I don't know. Patriots D obviously played better, which is why the Bills had trouble running the ball. But I don't know. I still don't know what the Bills are doing here. They're supposed to be better than this.
They've lost to the Jaguars, Jets, and Patriots.
So weird.
Yeah. The Jets without Aaron Rodgers. And they were really.
Oh, shit, that's right. They lost to Zach Wilson.
Yeah. And they scored 14 points on the Giants, who coached their way out of that game. Like, what's wrong with them for real? Their last two games have been, whew.
They got to figure out a way to start quicker. They got to figure out a way to stop playing from behind. Because, I don't know, they don't seem to be well suited for that situation.
No.
And then when they get desperate, I think Josh Allen really only sees two people on the field. You know what I mean? Like, I think he sees his tight end.
I forget who it was that was calling it, that was saying, he's just looking for the big shot every time.
Yeah. I think he sees Diggs, and I think he sees Dalton Kincaid. I think those are the only two people he can see when he's feeling desperate. Because you look at a guy like Gabe Davis, who's supposed to be their number two. I mean, he was virtually non-existent. He had one catch for 6 yards in this game. That's kind of...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. What are we doing here?
Great question.
That's all I. That's all I. That's that's all I have to say about this one.
That's all I have to say about that. Then the Washington Commanders. How? I don't get this. 14-7. They lose. I picked this upset, but I mean, I picked the Giants to win. It wasn't like a super upset, but.
Well, okay. So this is a little crazy. The Giants sacked Sam Howell 6 times in this game.
Man, he's still getting sacked.
And get this shit. Sam Howell, through 7 weeks, has been sacked 40 times. 40.
That's almost 6 sacks a game.
So far, no one in the league has been sacked even 30 times.
Damn.
Over a 17-game stretch, this bitch is on pace to be sacked 97 times.
This bitch.
He can't live. He can't survive. He's going to have to get injured. There's no way he can get sacked like that and stay healthy.
This would shatter the record currently held by David Carr, who was sacked 76 times playing with the Houston Texans back in 2002. This is some historic trash meets shit got learned right there. That is crazy. Crazy. On the Giants side, okay. Hit me with the Price is Right music. Okay, Jonathan Rollins. If you were the Giants head coach, would you go back to Daniel Jones or would you roll with Tyrod Taylor?
You know what, Scafino? I'm going to have to go with Tyrod Taylor on that. This looks like an addition by subtraction. He's not their guy. It's time to just cut your losses and find a new quarterback. It might not be Tyrod Taylor, but it definitely isn't Daniel Jones.
That is the correct answer. Yeah, you win a new living room set.
Yeah! A new living room set.
I mean, this was not like a terribly great performance. They looked. They looked really good in the second quarter, and Tyrod scored, threw a couple of nice touchdown passes. I don't know, but they look a little better with him back there to me.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I think Dayball's like, all right, but Dayball he's like stressing out on that sidelines, man.
Yeah,
he doesn't look in control. It's not a good look.
Yeah, and he's got he doesn't need to stress out. I'm worried about him. He's very overweight. Yeah. I'm worried he might have a heart attack or something. It's like, come on, chill out.
Too much pressure.
Speaking of no pressure, the Atlanta Falcons 16-13 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Never had a doubt, even with the next-gen curse up on the screen, giving the Falcons an 80% chance of winning, which everyone here knows is generally when the Falcons lose, but not today, baby. Not today. Desmond Ridder, 19 for 25, 250 yards, led the Falcons from their own 25-yard line to the Buccaneers' 33 in 45 seconds to set up Koo's walk-off, game-winning 51-yard field goal. However, Ridder also fumbled the ball 3 times deep in the red zone to keep the Bucs in this game.
Man, he was trying his best to lose it, bro.
Bruh, I was feeling that next-gen stats energy. I'm telling you, dude. As soon as that thing flashed up on the screen, Falcons 80% win probability. Both me and Isak were like, like in a slasher movie. And it was like,
a jump scare.
And, fine, sure, we won. However, at no point did I feel even close to 80% certain that was going to happen.
That was wild.
I was struggling for this game, ups and downs, all the turnovers. The fumbles were maddening. I'm like losing it in my living room in front of my family. Saga's boyfriend was there.
Oh, no.
but I got to say, when it mattered most, Ritter did. I mean, he put the team on his back. You know what I mean? He really did. And that long throw to Kyle Pitts that set them up for the field goal, which was.
How about that Kyle Pitts catch?
I don't even know how to describe it.
It was like something that glitches on Madden.
It did not even look
like
real.
something you see on Madden. Like he just put his hand out, caught it behind his back. It's a terrible
throw, to be fair, right? He threw it way behind him, reaches back, grabs it. And at first I thought he actually passed it back to himself around his back because his hand went so far behind his back. But then he just kind of held it and swooped it back. It was like a freak.
He must have gigantic hands, man.
Totally. I mean, it was crazy. The weird sort of curious part of this game was that Bijan Robinson was it took a while to figure this out because nobody said anything before the game, but it's like you're deep into this game and they're putting it up on the screen that Bijan Robinson, we're in the third quarter, has had 0 touches of the ball. And you're like, what is happening? And then somehow news gets through to the broadcast that Bijan was apparently suffering some form of a crippling headache, even though he wasn't listed on the injury report. I've since read that he apparently started feeling weird Saturday night and he woke up Sunday and felt even weirder. But we don't really understand why. But I is still kind of curious why they suited him up and just never handed him the ball. And even scarier was after they had announced that he had this problem, it was in the fourth quarter where they finally handed him the ball. I'm like, okay, well, if he's not good to go, we have a chance to win the game right now. Why are you giving him the ball? It was very strange.
Arthur Smith, man. He's another one that looks unhinged on the sidelines.
He always looks unhinged.
Yeah.
For the Bucs, I would say their big problem for the whole season so far is that they can't run the ball. Their run game has been non-existent since week 1. Baker Mayfield is feisty, right? He always finds a way to get the ball to Evans and Godwin for a deep shot a few times a game.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back though.
Yeah, most weeks it's kind of not enough.
Yeah.
And Rachaad White, who I don't know, a lot of people really liked him last year. It's sort of like the thing we talk about, like backup quarterbacks. Everyone was like, Rachaad White, he's better than Leonard Fournette. They should just go with him. Well, he has not been good. I think he's averaging only 2 or 3 yards per carry or something. So I don't know. I don't know about the Bucs. I don't believe in them. I don't believe in anybody in this division, obviously. I mean, at this point, the Falcons are 4-3, and they're now in first place of the NFC South. So, take a picture, freeze frame. Let's end the season right now. Let's go. Playoffs tomorrow.
Watch out for those. Watch out for those Carolina Panthers.
They're coming.
They had a bye week. The offensive coordinators calling plays now.
Oh, that's right. Everything's going to change. They're going to be last year's Lions. It's going to turn around. Speaking of the Lions,
I was going to say, yeah. the Lions did not show up.
No, they did not.
They got that ass whooped.
38-6. The Ravens beat the doors off the Lions. I did not see this coming.
Nor did I.
On the radio call, the announcer, it was funny, I heard it the day after. He said, it looks like there was a party and Detroit wasn't invited. It was like, I mean, the Ravens scored 4 touchdowns before the Lions even had a first down in this game. That's how complete of an ass whooping this was. Lamar was cooking. He was absolutely cooking. And if this is the new normal for the Todd Monken offense, former Bulldog, by the way, then look out, y'all, because they were firing on all cylinders. Lamar only threw the ball 27 times, but he completed 21 of those, 357 yards, 3 touchdowns passing, plus a rushing touchdown. This was vintage MVP Lamar Jackson. Mark Andrews had 2 touchdowns on National Tight Ends Day. Let's go. Gus Edwards finally had a day.
When did they make that up? National Tight Ends Day.
George Kittle made that up.
Okay.
George Kittle made it up a few
funny,
years
that's
ago.
tough.
He was like, all holidays are made up. I'm making this one up. It's National Tight Ends Day because I said so.
I like it.
Yeah. Zay Flowers looked good too. He's been fun to watch. I mean, for the Lions outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, who had over 100 yards receiving, they just didn't look like they were ready to play this game. I don't know how or why or what, but
Who was it that got hurt on the Ravens? They lost somebody.
yeah, I don't know.
Was it Flowers?
Was it? I'm
I
not
saw,
sure. I
like,
didn't track that.
Like back to back. I was watching the game and back to back. I saw 2 players go down. I was like, damn. They just can't. They can't get away from this injury bug.
This division is suddenly upside down as well.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And in this division is also the Pittsburgh Steelers, who came out and are. Well, I wasn't shocked by this. I felt they were going to beat the Rams, and before the season, it looked like it should be lopsided. But this turned out to be a good game.
I was a little shocked because I only watched the first half. I went to bed at the half, dreaming of this insane catch made by Puka Nacua. That catch where he gets the toe tap barely inbounds. Man, freeze frame that.
Barely.
Send that one to the Smithsonian or to Canton or whatever. I was just like, shit, that was dope. And then I woke up and was like, whoa, shit, the Rams lost. Obviously, the Steelers' defense took over the game late.
Yeah.
Najee Harris and Jalen Warren scored a couple of fourth quarter touchdowns. Puka had over 150 yards, but they kind of eliminated Cooper Kupp in this game. He only had 2 catches for 29 yards. Of course, my man, former Bulldog George Pickens, was out there doing his thing with 107 yards on only 5 catches.
You know what his thing turns out to be?
Tell me.
He can't keep his goddamn mouth shut.
Yeah, what did he do?
It
You
cost him
texted me, but I was
45
asleep.
yards.
I didn't
cost him
see it.
45 yards, something like that. He kept getting personal fouls after the play.
He kept getting taunting?
Yeah,
calls?
taunting or personal. Yeah, he got like 3 calls on him, something like that.
Because I woke up in the morning.
Had 2 times when he went and put his arms around him, like, relax. He just.
Because I went to bed, and then when I woke up in the morning, you were like, "Yo, your man Pickens has got to chill." That was at like 12:30 a.m. Yeah, I was sleeping.
I was on a
Deontay
flight
Johnson.
watching that game.
Deontay Johnson looked good in his return as well. They're happy to have him back.
Yeah.
Well, also, okay, I feel the Steelers deserve credit for winning this game, but there were definitely some officiating issues in this one. There was a very iffy pass interference call late, and then this 4th down play was the main one. Steelers go for it. Pickett does the QB
I don't know how they got
sneak.
turned over. Overturned.
If he gets the Steelers, if he gets it, the Steelers essentially can take a knee, win the game, run out the clock. If you watch the replay, he's so obviously short.
So short. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He's so short, and they give him the favorable spot and the first down. And because McVay was out of timeouts, he couldn't challenge the call. And because it happened before the 2-minute warning, there was an automatic booth review. So this seems weird to me. I just feel like this is a easy problem to fix.
Yeah.
Like where to spot the ball.
Yeah.
That feels to me like it should be automatic. It feels to me that if they figured out how to do this in the USFL, by putting a chip in the ball. I just feel like if the USFL knows how to do this, like, why can't the NFL do this? That, to me, this should not be happening in the NFL, in my opinion.
Agreed.
What do you think?
I agree.
I just think it's weird. Anyway, Steelers won. Rams lost.
But like, put a chip in the ball and we'll be good. It's like
it's just, yeah. I get that you don't want to use the replay for every fucking thing, but this is like, this to me
they got
seems
people
like,
watching. They got people watching in New York.
Yeah, and they can't do anything about it.
Those people just be like, oh, yeah, well, let's fix that.
It's a bunch of smart, dumb people up there. Unbelievable.
Then we got the Cardinals played the Seahawks in a very exciting game.
Yeah.
Joshua Dobbs versus Geno Smith in the Redemption Bowl.
Redemption Bowl. For who?
No. It was just two quarterbacks that had they were longtime backups.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there were a couple of cool things that happened in this game. Rookie Jackson Smith and Jigba got his first NFL touchdown on a 28-yard dart from Geno Smith. Very entertaining first half. And then the Seattle defense stepped in and said, okay, that's it. No more fun.
Yeah.
We're shutting this down. It's over.
Yeah.
Cardinals got completely shut out in the second half. And the Seahawks just kind of cruised to victory with a couple of second half field goals. K9 was balling, 26 carries for 105 yards. Jake Bobo had a crazy touchdown catch in this game. Maybe one of the best touchdown catches. Yeah. He's, I wonder, actually, you know what? I should look it up. I don't know if he's related to Mike Bobo, who is the current offensive coordinator for the Georgia Bulldogs. Just saying. Cardinals did what they do. They looked rowdy in the first half, but in the second half, they just kind of fell apart.
Sputter, yeah.
Seahawks had a couple of turnovers in the second half. It gave the Cardinals a shot, but Cardinals couldn't really do anything with it. So, but, the whole Josh Dobbs story, while it's been fun, Kyler Murray is off IR. He was on the sideline watching this game, and I can only imagine he's coming back sooner rather than later. It's not going to save their season per se, but with the new coach, I would imagine that it's important for him to see what he has and to see if he likes it. You know what I mean? So that'll be interesting to see who are they, because Kyler Murray's so different from Josh Dobbs. Like, what is this? You get to this point in the season, you think you know who these teams are, and then you throw somebody like Kyler in there, and you have to sort of reimagine what they are.
We got to reimagine who the Denver Broncos are, because they are ready to turn things around. They beat the Packers 19-17.
Yeah. They scored their typical 19 points, and looked like they were gonna lose, but Jordan Love threw up a punt into double coverage that got picked off at the end of the game. The Broncos win. This was ugly football. It's a lot of bad football out there.
From what I watch.
Brady would say. Yeah.
There's a lot of bad football from what I watch.
Broncos D look good, but they did play a very bad Packers team who, if there's anybody I'm starting to rearrange the way I thought about them, it would be the Packers. I feel like things are starting to come down to earth over there. Neither offense looked particularly good. But the Broncos had the edge on the ground for sure. They had a good run game going. The Broncos broke a very interesting streak, having lost their last 10 consecutive games when having a lead at the half. So,
oh wow,
good job by you, Broncos.
Then we had Chargers, Chiefs. Brandon Staley, man, I just shake my head at least twice a game. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, he seems so like outclassed. I don't know.
And now he's growing this beard to make himself look more manly, but it doesn't work. It almost looks like a guy who has like a fake beard like taped onto his face. It's like, come on, stop it.
Yeah, leave it alone, Brandon.
As a man with a real beard, I feel like I have the authority to comment on this beard, and I'm not here for it.
He should wait for puberty.
Oh, man, the Chiefs didn't have much of a run game in this one, but it didn't matter because Mahomes threw the ball all over the yard, completing passes to 10 different receivers. I mean, it looked like the Chargers were going to hang in there, going blow for blow early. Game was tied 17-17 after 4 touchdowns were scored in like 6 or 7 minutes of game time. And then the Chiefs defense took over and turned out the lights on the Chargers. 0 points in the second half for the Chargers. Herbert, 17 for 30, 259, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, plus 5 sacks. In comparison, Mahomes, Jesus Christ, 32 for 42, 424, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. Kelsey had over 150 receiving yards. I mean, they were
Taylor
dominant.
Swift got 12 cutaways.
Were there 12 cutaways?
I don't know how many, but it felt like it.
Yeah. We got to see Swift and what's her name? Brittany Mahomes have like a secret handshake now, which is kind of cool. Good for them. I mean, for the Chiefs, this was a dominant game and that we were kind of looking for. Like we haven't really seen them really boat race somebody yet. And for the Chargers, you're kind of left wondering how a defensive-minded head coach like Staley still has a job. I think this guy is toast at the end of the season, 100%. Yeah. Another thing I noticed in this game is that Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice feels like he might be becoming a guy for the Chiefs. That other guy besides Kelsey who can make big plays in key moments.
Miko's back too, your boy.
My boy, former Bulldog, Miko Hardman's back. He had a nice punt return.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Rashee Rice guy, I like him. He's good.
Yeah, I like him too.
He's good.
All right, let's get to it, man.
I know. What happened? Boom, boom, ba-dum.
Dolphins felt like they didn't show up. They had some. If you ask loyal and delusional Dolphins fans, they'll say the refs took this game from us because the Philadelphia Eagles had 0 penalties and the Dolphins had so many. But it was self-inflicted stuff. The first play of the game was a delay of game, and then they never looked back from there.
Wow.
But the offense had spurts, but Philly just kept figuring it out. It was like a frustrating game too. Just like they weren't gonna win. Just like better.
Yeah, because it was close there for a while. I mean, after that pick six, the game was knotted up at 17, and then it just started to unravel, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sad for you, but I was very happy to see that my man, former Bulldog Nolan Smith, got his first sack, so that was pretty important. He basically changed the game with that 1 sack, so good for him.
Didn't Julio got in, right?
Yeah, he did. I didn't really see. He didn't do much, right?
No, he didn't. But he was limited. I think they said they had 11 plays for him.
He had 1 target, 1 catch, 3 yards. Yeah. Let's go. That's 100% completion, 100% receiving percentage right there. I love it.
But they did like when it's so funny whenever they do the tush push thing or brotherly shove, whatever.
Right.
It always starts a debate between the announcers. It's almost like they cue it up, the debate. Should this play be allowed? It's like, yeah.
I think it's a dumb debate.
Yeah.
It's dumb. I don't know.
Yeah. But they got to the point where they were getting like 5 yards on it.
Well, then you really can't take it away then.
It was crazy.
Yeah, this was rough. I didn't see it, obviously. I was asleep. I was pulling for your Dolphins.
I just landed. I was watching it live here. Yeah. But I made my night better by going to a comedy club and performing and making people laugh. So
Nice. Speaking of making people laugh, San Francisco 49ers lost to the Minnesota Vikings. Are you kidding me?
You called it. I knew it too. I felt the same way.
Prime time, Kirk Cousins, a man born to be underneath the nighttime lights, put on his most impressive performance of the year, carving up the supposedly unbeatable 49ers defense, handing them their second loss in as many weeks. I mean, the Vikings offensive line and Kirk Cousins are the story of this game because my guy, Mr. You Like That, had all night to throw the ball. The 49ers D had only 4 pressures and 0 sacks. 0. Allowing Cousins to go 35 for 45, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, which really shouldn't have actually been a pick, in my opinion. They were wrestling for the ball. Usually they let the receiver have it. It was a bullshit call, I thought. But it was just further proof that the NFL is on Kyle Shanahan's side. I'm convinced. So fuck it.
How can this be Kyle Shanahan's fault? Skip, how can this somehow be Kyle Shanahan's fault?
I don't really, technically it's not really his fault. Like, he has this whole legacy thing. His father was a very successful coach. So it's like everybody wants him to be the boy genius, but he's just not that smart. You know what I mean? It's not his fault that he's not a genius. It's, that everyone thinks he is. So I do have some empathy for him.
I was mixing up my players when I said some Ravens players got hurt. It was Vikings players. I think Jordan Addison got hurt. And look at his stat line.
Yeah.
He went off.
Bananas. He went bananas. Yeah. I mean, on the other side of
them, even without Jordan Jefferson.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
I did too,
It was blind optimism, really. On the other side of the ball, Brian Flores had the Vikings D humming. Yeah. McCaffrey scored, of course, because he always scores, but he also had a very consequential fumble early in this game and was held to only 45 yards rushing. And he had 51 yards receiving and a touchdown too, but that's not the point. The point is that the Vikings won the game. They got a lead. They carried it into the fourth quarter. And in a situation where they tend to wind up on the wrong side of that situation, they forced Purdy to step up and beat them with his arm. And with 2 chances to do so, Purdy threw back-to-back picks.
Yep.
The last one being
was fantastic.
Yeah, the last one was a straight-up floater across the middle.
Yeah.
Cameron Bynum he got both of those picks. I mean, the Vikings, who everyone was talking about as sellers at the approaching trade deadline. People were predicting that the Vikings would maybe cut a deal, maybe send Cousins to the Jets. But now these purple people eaters are out here 3-4. You like that? Last place. They were in last place. Now they're in second place in the NFC North in the same week that the Lions got absolutely humbled by the Ravens. 49ers losing back-to-back games. Big deal or no big deal?
Ooh, I didn't think about that. They lost to the Browns. But that game, it was like they had the injuries and all of that stuff. That's not so bad. I'm not too concerned.
No? Okay. We'll see.
Are you? Why is there drool? Why is there drool coming from your mouth?
I'm not concerned. I'm actively rooting for their demise. So it's like, I'm in a different space, headspace. So,
All right. Well, that's all the games, and then we have some superlatives. Who's your real MVP?
I'm really sorry, but I have to do this. AJ Brown is such a bad man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And every time I watch, I just cannot understand how the Tennessee Titans let him go. I mean, crazy. Single coverage, double coverage, triple coverage. It doesn't matter. This man cannot be contained. It's unbelievable. And the NFL research department hit us up with a little nugget after this game. That A.J. Brown has now tied Calvin Johnson for the most consecutive games with 125 plus yards receiving since the 1970 NFL merger. That's 5 straight games. And in those 5 games, this man has had 701 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. That's an average of 140 yards per game.
Wow.
And the next week they play the Commanders, so I don't see any reason why he won't break this record. AJ Brown is such a badass, and he's just terrifying. To me, he's the second coming of Julio Jones, in my opinion.
You the real MVP.
Scary.
Well, mine is Myles Garrett. It's not because he had 9 tackles. It's not because he had 2 sacks. It's not because he forced 2 fumbles all in the same game, or because he was reading quarterback guys and had a pass breakup. Solely because Myles Garrett showed how much of a freak athlete he is for hurdling a couple 300-pound men in order to block a field goal. It's beautiful. It's majestic. It means Myles Garrett.
You the real MVP.
Yeah, very impressive.
My trash is the Washington Commanders, man. How do they look so pedestrian against a team like the New York Giants that were kind of a punching bag, laughing stock with a backup quarterback starting? I knew the game was a trash off, but I didn't think the Commanders would come out looking helpless against their division rival. It was sloppy, embarrassing, ended with a star player giving signs that the locker room is falling apart.
I was extra pissed off about this too because my Falcons lost to these Commanders last week.
Right.
And as I was watching the game this week against the Giants, I was like, how the fuck did we lose to that?
Yeah.
I was like, motherfuckers.
That's how I feel when we lost to the Bills and they lost to the Jets and the Patriots. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yes.
What are we doing?
Crazy.
It's football. What's your shit got learned?
Well, my trash, first off.
Oh, my bad. What's your trash? I'm sorry.
My trash is a man who I promised I was going to talk about. A man who went 1 for 5 from the quarterback position for only 5 yards and still managed to throw what should have been 2 picks. Deshaun Watson got knocked out of this game, went into concussion protocol, but according to reports, Watson cleared the protocol rather quickly, and the reason why he did not come back into this game was because Coach Stefanski felt like PJ Walker gave them a better chance to win the game. How much money is this man making to play quarterback? And to see how Cleveland won this game without him? Gritty, hard-nosed, typical Cleveland Browns football. I really don't understand why they went after Watson in the first place. Like, he does not fit their DNA. I get that we all thought of him as a top 5 quarterback once upon a time, but looking back, it's not difficult to see that Watson was likely never going to fit in with the Cleveland Browns. He's not tough enough. He definitely does not strike me as a team first kind of guy. And we know for a fact that he lacks true, real character. And it's getting harder and harder each and every week to ignore that this might be the biggest and most expensive mistake in NFL history, because this man is fucking trash.
You are trash!
Well said, man. What's your shit got learned?
My shit got learned. I learned that Daniel Jones might want to consider getting the former Chargers doctor back in the building, because it looks like Tyrod Taylor is getting ready to take his job. When asked in the postgame if Tyrod had made an argument for remaining the starting quarterback, even when Daniel Jones becomes healthy, head coach Brian Daboll's answer was less than definitive. He said, quote, I would say Tyrod had a good game this game, and he's a true pro, and I'm glad we've got him. And while you could call that, you could call that measured coach speak, I'm not entirely sure that's how I would read it if I were Daniel Jones. Taylor was an efficient 18 for 29, 279 yards, and 2 touchdown passes in the clutch, and looked very good evading pressure and navigating both in and out of the pocket. He also averaged 9.6 yards per play, unlike Daniel Jones, who averages only 5.9. Thanks in part to a beautiful deep ball, Tyrod Taylor. Sacks also brings up another troubling comparison. Tyrod Taylor in 2 games has been sacked on 12% of his dropbacks when he's under pressure. Daniel Jones, 30%. Second worst in the NFL. Second worst sack rate in the NFL. Only in front of Sam Howell, of course. But even if you just forget about the stats, like fuck the numbers, just the eye test, just take a look, watch the game. He looks more comfortable back there. So I don't know. Danny Dimes, do what you got to do. Go hire the doctor. See what Tanya Harding is up to nowadays. You live in New York, for fuck's sakes. I mean, I'm sure you could find some old racist mobster to help you out in New York. I mean, yeah. Or you could just play better football. But I don't know. I just doubt that that's your best shot of getting back under set. They're probably going to put him back under there because it's like he's got the contract. Yeah. But they made the same mistake with Geno Smith too. You know, they had Geno in the building and they rolled with Manning instead. So damn. I don't know.
Well, my shit got learned is that the Dolphins ain't ready just yet. Put them back in the oven, let them cook a little bit, and then we'll take them out. Coming into Sunday night's game, the opponents the Dolphins have beaten had a combined win total of 5. So maybe Miami's just the bully around the block beating up on the bad teams. But the 2 times they went up against good teams, they got beat convincingly. So that makes me think Dolphins just ain't ready yet. They're exciting. They're fun. They got a cool coach. But maybe they're not that elite team we thought they were.
Feels like they got to get tougher.
Yeah, man. Like, it came time to get physical, and the Eagles just bullied them. Scariest AFC team?
Chiefs, full stop.
I put the Ravens. People were talking about Lions Super Bowl, and then the Ravens shut that shit down.
I just feel like the Ravens are still a little too unpredictable to me.
Will Lamar playing like that?
If they do that again, if they come out and do that 2 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row.
Do it at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's true.
Do it a couple of weeks in a row, and I'm with you.
Yeah, it's like every other week, yeah. Scariest NFC team?
It's got to be the Eagles.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And finally, who name you putting Speck on? I could start, man. I talk shit about this guy. Not a fan. He's got a very punchable face. He's the least athletic player in the NFL. It looks like he's always about to go wash clothes. It just looks like, hey, man, I got to wash clothes. I'll be back. I'm talking about Mac Jones, man. He ran the 40 backwards. Like this dude. He got the ball with a minute and some change left or whatever it was. And we all assumed he lost the game because he's Mac Jones. He doesn't come back. He just gets really sad when he throws an interception that gets run back for a touchdown. He falls on his back when his player pitches back to a Raider.
He's doing his Phillip Rivers impression.
His Phillip Rivers impersonation is spot on. but in this case, Mac Jones proved us all wrong. He comes out there firing on all cylinders and finally hits Mike Gesicki in the end zone to put away the rival top head honcho of the division, Buffalo Bills. So, Mac Jones, I talk a lot of shit, but this time I need to
put some respect on my name.
I'm going to stick with the same game against my actual desire. The man has earned it, and I'm talking about a man who has been on the ropes all year, but on Sunday he joined a space that is definitely certified rare air. Bill Belichick joining the 300-win club, a club that only has two other dudes in it, Bears great George Halas and your guy, former Dolphins coach Don Shula. Throw that on top of all of his success as a coordinator with the Giants, and what you have is a total football guy with a boatload of wins and a total of 8 Super Bowl rings, the most of any individual in NFL history. And yes, the Patriots do suck this year, but I don't think we should count old Bill out just yet. He needs 18 more wins to catch George Halas and 28 more to catch Shula. If anyone can do it, it's Bill. But watch out for Andy Reid, though. He has 253 coming up strong behind you with one hell of a football team. So that would be kind of interesting. But yeah, this week I'm going to put some respect on Bill Belichick's name. He's got a rough
Put some
year.
respect on my name.
Yeah. I want to say,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell
all right, y'all. Well, that was this episode of SveNFL. It's your boys, man. Thank you for checking it out. It's been another week of football, man. Week 7 is in the books. We'll be back with some predictions for week 8. Thank y'all so much. It's been Jonathan Rollins.
Give me Sarah.
With SveNFL. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Later, y'all.
I gotta figure this out.